Hello everyone, good evening. Thank you so much for joining this webinar series. So we are in the third webinar series of this year, Archicad Now, which is going to be on the topic Archicad and simulation. So in this webinar series, we'll be seeing how to use the Archicad model and then and use different other tools to do the simulation. And we have also come up with some of the ideas in which you can perform the simulation within Archicad itself. We'll be showing that throughout the series. Okay. All right, so here is the agenda for this series. So this series we are going to have it as a five sessions, and on every Thursday we are going to have one session. So this first session we are going to see 4D and 5D simulation using the Archicad model. And in the next session, which is on the second session, we'll be seeing the wind simulation. So the examples would be like wind tunnel effect and then windrow study using Grasshopper, using the Archicad model, using the connection between those two. And then on the third session, we'll be seeing sun simulation, and we'll also see how to do, uh, the comfort of the environment, all that simulations we'll be seeing. And on the fourth session, we'll be seeing artificial light simulation using dialects. And on the fifth session, we'll be seeing rain flow simulation using the Archicad model in Grasshopper. Okay. So the agenda for today is going to be 4D simulation and 5D simulation, as I told earlier, and we are going to use some of the tools that are available on the market to do these 4D and 5D simulation. So the first one would be the Bexel Manager, and then using Twinmotion, we'll be seeing how to do the 4D simulation. So for these two, I'll be showing the hands-on, and the next one is 5D cost estimation using CostX. So, and then we will also see how to do the 4D and 5D simulation using Synchro. And then the last would be to perform 4D and 5D simulation within Archicad using Python API. So we have developed some scripts, and then we have done some automation using the property manager using the expressions. So we'll be showing how to perform this simulation using the Python API and then the graphic overrides in Archicad. All right, let's get started. So the first would be to perform 4D and 5D simulation using Bexel Manager. Sorry. So yeah, so this is the Bexel Manager welcome screen. And so I'm just going to create a new project here. Okay, so let me just create Archicad sample project. Okay, and then let me give a name, which is the version 1 for this, so you can have multiple versions inside Bexel Manager. And I'm here going to use the IFC exported from Archicad. So I'm going to choose the IFC that I exported previously from Archicad. So let me just choose the IFC model here. So here you can see this is the IFC that I just exported from Archicad itself. So just click open, and then you can use the culture here. So we are using English Singapore, and then let me click OK. So once you click OK, the project will be created, and then a 3D screen will be available for you to view the model in the Bexel Manager. We'll be seeing how to do the cost estimation, and then we'll also see how to do scheduling inside the Bexel Manager. Okay, I can see a question from RJ. You can use the default settings available maybe. So here from the IFC exporter, we have this translators. I actually just use this general export. So with this, I did not lose any geometry. But if in case if you have any complex geometries in your project, you can just split them. For normal elements, you can use the general export, and for complex elements, you can use the exact geometry export. And then using this option inside Archicad, you can just merge two IFC files when you export. Okay. Okay, so let me go back to the, Yeah, so in the Excel manager, you can see the model here. So this is a 3D model, which is the S office building, which I exported from Archicad. So first thing that I'm going to do is to create breakdowns. Sorry. So I need to create breakdowns. So for that, I'm going to use this wizard here, create new breakdown. So here I'm going to use blank custom breakdown, and then I'm going to give a name, maybe new breakdown structure. And then I'm going to get the elements from building. So from building 01 is just the site information, but I'm just going to get the information from the building one, which has all the story and then the components inside each stories. Okay, so let me just use the selection here, and then I can categorize the components based on the building level. And going down further, I can categorize it based on the category itself. So category is basically like beams, columns, and element and so on. And then further down, if you have any type of type inside each category, we can categorize it based on the group. Okay, so let me just generate this so you'll be able to understand. So you can see here inside first story, I have beams, I have ceilings, I have coverings, I have curtain walls. So doors, inside doors, I have two types, door types. So I have this. So this has been generated. So I can just click OK here. So now you can see here, if I need to see only my beams inside the second story, say for example, so I can just go here, and then I can just select it. If I go here under select or under isolate, I can just select and see the isolated elements from here. So this way you can visualize or check your model from Archicad using this BIM Excel manager here. Okay, so let me just show all. So now let me go ahead and create the cost editor. Okay, so under cost editor, if you see here in the in the bottom, we have classification, and then we have cost item definition, and we have resources. So let's see one by one. So first I need to classify the elements according to the type. So I can just create a new classification here. So let's just key in new cost classification. So once the classification is created, it's currently empty. If you see here, it's 0 here. So I'm going to use this create wizard, and then I'm going to import my classification from the breakdown that we just created. So basically I've created this breakdown to import it inside my classification here under the cost editor. So just click this, and then I can just use the new breakdown. So if you have more, you can choose from here, but currently I have only one, so I'm choosing that. And then under the schema, I'm just choosing none. And then rules of measurement, currently I've just made it count. So if in case you want to, if you don't want to have anything, you can just make it empty or something. Okay, so let's just have it count and then click OK here. So now if I expand this, you can see here under each story. So I have first story, second story, third story, fourth story, and so on. So under each story, depending on the type of the element, the beam, and under beam, we have different types as well. So currently in this project, we have only one beam type. So we have this, and say for example, we have coverings of two types. So there are these two types categorized as well. So if you double click this, you'll be able to customize the cost value for each of the unit input that you have for this element type. Say for example, for this beam, right, just now I double click the beam, so I can choose the length of the beam, and then I can use the daily input here. So daily input, you can just make it, this is basically a factor kind of, so you can use this. And then for the unit cost, you need to enter the value for each of these sub costs here. Okay, so it can be any value. So let me just give randomly some value here for now. Okay, so I just give these three, and then if you have any resources, you can create your resources here, and then from the resources you can derive these values here if you're not directly entering it here, but that is also possible. And using the mapping here, so if you want to have any formula like you want to multiply the volume by some factor when you're calculating the cost and all that, you can define your formula here. So currently I'm just leaving it default, which is 1 here, and then click OK. So you can see here, the based on the length of the beam, so the unit cost is 300, and I need to create this cost assignment to the beams. So I'll right click and then choose cost as auto assign cost items, and then to new cost version. Okay, so new cost version will be created, and then click proceed. So now you can go to the assigned items. So we have just created this assignment, which is the beams, and then there are 44 beams inside this project, and the total length of the beams is 44 meters, and the unit cost is this much, and we have the material cost for the beam inside this project. So this way we have to just create the cost assignment for each of the type that we have inside the model using this cost editor. So for each type, you can just double click and then change the value here. So if in case you have resources, you can enter them and then customize this unit cost. So based on the unit cost, just right click here and then assign it to the active cost version. Say for example, let me just do it again for the ceiling. So you can see here, I can enter the realistic value, but for now the demo purpose, I'm just entering the random value and then just click OK. So now for assigning it again, use this option, and then now I'm using active cost version because I already have one cost version open. Okay, so just click OK, and then go to the assignment. You'll be able to see the cost for your ceiling here. Okay, so this is how you can quantify the project. I'm not going to continue and do the entire project. So these are the steps that I use to just quantify or to find the cost estimation for the components inside Pixel Manager. So now let's just go to the schedule. So we have to go to the schedule editor here, and then let's just create a new schedule. So it's going to be an empty schedule for now. Okay, so let's just give a name my schedule. Okay, so if you want to give any description, you could give. So let me just, so you can see here a basic or baseline task has been created. So using this, I can just create a subtask under this. So you can see you can have a blank task, and then you can link the elements manually, but I'm going to directly link the elements based on the category or the stories or even the family or whatever. So let's just use this option. Okay, and I'm going to get the elements from the building, and then I'm going to categorize them or to categorize them based on the building stories. Okay, so let's just click OK here. So you can see here I have all these stories categorized under this particular main task. Okay, and the start and the end date I can customize it later. So let's just go ahead, and then under the first story I'm going to create another linked tasks. So this time I'm going to categorize them based on the categories, so based on the type of the element. So beams, I'm not going to cover all of these. Let's just do few ones: beams, walls, structural foundations, structural columns, and then roofs. Okay, slabs as well. Okay, so I'm just going to use these categories. So let's just click OK. So if you see here, all the categories that I've created has been created as a subcategory for this particular story. So now I'm going to use this logic screen. So let's just click logic screen and then open the pop-up. So using this, you can see here I have the elevator base. Currently, none of them are linked. So you can use this node to connect and then make them linked. Okay. So I'm just connecting all these stories. Okay, so this is the last one, which is the roof level. And if I go to the first story just now I created, so I will have the sub elements under there. So we can just, connect these two as well. So let me just start with the foundation, and then let's go to the slabs, and then from there we can go to columns, and we can go to beams, after which we can just create the roofs finally after placing the walls. Okay, so this one you can have the sequence for your project as well. So now let's just go back to this pop-in, and then we are going back to the Gantt chart view, where I'm going to just copy this, these assignments. So the structural foundation and types, all these assignments to each of the floors. So just select all of them, right click, and then click copy, so that I can assign it to the other stories as well. Okay, so let's just click OK here. So now if I scale to fit the Gantt chart, you'll be able to see from the base elevator level to the basement level, first story, all the elements are, based on the time that you choose and the date that you choose. You can edit the date and time from here now. So I just created the sequence for now. The next step is to change the date and time by just double clicking here. So I'm just going to leave it just like that for now. So the next step is to create the animation or to check the animation. So go to the schedule animation here. Okay, so let's just update the animation here, and then we have the animation, we have the schedule that we just created. Okay, and then let's go to schedule viewer, just reduce the size, and then let's try to, okay, let's start the animation here. So you can see here the foundation level is the basement level is starting, after which the foundations are laid. The sequence of the elements maybe I chose is not exactly the correct one, but you can choose your own sequence, and then you can create your animation in Pixel Manager. Okay, all right, so let's go back to the presentation. So the next topic is Twinmotion. So for Twinmotion, we are going to use Archicad and Twinmotion direct connection, which is the datasmith connection. So let me open my Archicad model, which is again the S of S model, and I'm going to have the Twinmotion open here. So you can see here, this is currently an empty project. It has nothing but just a starting ground. Okay, so I'm going to import the new Archicad project. So here you can see, or the project that is open on the background. So you can just click import here, and then under the direct link, you can choose the source project. So currently we are going to use this project, and then under the options, you can choose to collapse the material, or you can keep the hierarchy as well. Okay, and then you can just click import here. So once you click import, the Archicad project will be imported, but you need to sync it from Archicad first. Okay, so try open the 3D view here, and then go to window, palettes, and datasmith. Okay, so okay, let me just open it again. Yeah, so here you can see the small palette here. So just try to click this synchronize button here, and then you can see the mouse wheel is rotating, which is the weighting symbol. You can see the syncing here. So make sure you are in the 3D view before you sync the Archicad model with your Twinmotion. Okay, all right, it's still syncing. All right, the project is here. So if you want to just elevate the project above the starting ground, just select the project here and then use the handle here to just elevate the project above the ground level. Okay. So now we are going to see how to create facing, which is the 4D simulation inside Twinmotion. So let's just go to media here, and then you can see here facing title. Okay, so go here. You have facing here. So maybe let's just delete this and then create a new one. So you can see as soon as I create a new one, I can see track one here, and inside the track one, I have phase one task. Okay, so for the phase one task, I have the options here to hide the elements that I don't want to see here. Say, for example, on the phase one, I just wanted to see only the ground level. Okay, so what I need to do is just collapse this hierarchy, and then I want to see only the site information. Okay, so hide everything. Okay, so let me just see only the site information. So I have the site landscape, and then we have site landscape trees and site landscape general. Okay, so let me just delete these lights first. So these are auto placed lights actually. Syncing again. Okay, so I'm just trying to delete all these lights. Okay, select all instances. Yeah, so the lights are deleted. So let me just go back here and then hide everything. And then I want to see only the site landscape. Okay, so after collapsing hierarchy, I can directly go to this site landscape here. Yeah. So the first facing, I want to just see this. So let's go back to the facing and see here. You have to select this, and then you can just do the changes. So now to create a new task, just click create face. So you have a new task. So you can just use the handles here to make it smaller. So currently it is months. So if you want to make it weeks, or if you want to make it days here, you can do the changes as well. Okay, so it's up to you. So let me just make it just months, and if I want to change anything here, so I can just change the values. Okay, so here is the handle. So when you move this handle from here, you'll be able to see the changes that you do. So currently for phase two, I need to bring, I need to make some of the components visible here. Say for example, I want to make the foundations visible, and then the structural wall. So here is the foundation, and then let me see here, there are some structural slabs here. So this structural slab has a lot of slabs. Maybe I just want only few of them. So you can see here inside the pit I have one slab visible. Similarly, I can just go ahead and make the finish wall or the structural wall visible inside the pit itself. Okay, so you basically have to do this one by one, and then you can create multiple tracks and then multiple tasks inside each of these tasks. And then once you create the facing, so I've just created two tasks here, but I'm just going ahead and I'm going to show you how to export this as a video or as an animation. Okay, so let's just go to the media option here, which is export option. Go to the video. Okay, so this is okay. So let me just quit the media mode. Okay, so currently the video is empty. Let me just create a video first so that I have the option to export it. Okay, so go back to this video and then click more here. So here you can choose the facing group 3. So the facing that we just created. So go to video and then first create the video and then change it under more, the facing group here. Okay, and then now you have the video here, and then you can choose the video and then you can just select the path, and then you can start to export from here. Okay, so it will export a video for you as an animation. Okay, so this is how facing is done inside Twinmotion. So first what I did is to import the Archicad model, which is open on the background using the Datasmith plugin, and then go to the media here and then first create the facing. So for facing, you can use this option and then you can use the hide option on the scene here, and then choose the task, and then you need to hide and make it visible on each of these tasks. And then after you do that, go back to the media again and create a video. So here, when you create a video, you need to change the facing group here, and then when the facing group is created, you'll be able to export it as a video here. Okay, so once you created the video, you can start to export and the video will be exported. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation. So the next topic is 4D and 5D simulation using Synchro. I'm just going to show it in the slides here. So the first simulation workflow is to get the Archicad model, and then you need to have the properties created inside the Archicad model, which can be exported along with this, you know, the Archicad model in IFC file format. And if you want to check the IFC for a file inside Solibri, you can check that, or inside any viewer, you can do the checking, and then you can take it further and go inside the Synchro, and inside Synchro you can use an Excel sheet to import the schedule. So I'll show you the Excel sheet which can be imported, and then you will be able to create the simulation of time and cost inside that. So let me show the model inside Archicad. So this is the model. So if you see here under the options, the property has been created. So these are the properties that are exported along with this model. And then this will be the Excel sheet. So you can see here, these are the activities along with the start date and end date with the duration itself. So this Excel sheet can be imported inside Synchro, and then you'll be able to create the 4D and 5D simulation inside that. So you can see here, these are the tools that are used for creating 4D, 5D simulation using Synchro. And here is the video of it. So on the top, you can see the timeline. And here we have the cost graph. So let me just forward a bit. Okay, so due to time constraints, I'm not going into showing the Synchro here. So by you can perform 4D and 5D simulation using Archicad model in Synchro. So the next is CostX. So you can use, you can create 5D cost estimation using CostX. So here is a video where you can watch more information about CostX. So again, it's going to be using the IFC file format. So you can export the Archicad model in IFC file format, and then you can import it inside CostX to do the cost estimation, and then it can be exported in an Excel file format. Okay, so I'm not going to show this again based on because of the time constraint. So let's just go to this 4D and 5D simulation using Archicad Python API. Okay, but before that, we also have a tool inside Archicad using which you can do the construction simulation, which was a plugin. So you can go inside the document here, and then listing extras, construction simulation, you can see show task list. So here you'll be able to create tasks. So for each task, you can link the selected elements. So for selecting the elements, you can use this find and select. So you can use this find and select option to select the element on the view, and then you can link it with each of these tasks. And for each task, you can give the start date and then the end date, and then the type as well. So if you want to build or demolish or restore or freeze or temporary or whatever, you can use this. Based on this type, color coding will be applied during the simulation. Okay. Once you link all the elements, you'll be able to create a animation as well. So for creating the animation, again, go back to the document, listing extras, and then construction simulation, create animation. So when you click this, you can choose the start and end date of your animation, and then the animation window. So we are going to choose 3D window for now. I don't have much tasks here. I'm just showing how to use this tool to create 4D simulation using this tool. But there are other possible ways which I'm going to show using the Python API as well. So you can choose the file format in which you want to save the result as, and then you can click save, which will create an animation and then save it for you inside your mission. Okay. So let me go back to the presentation. So here, if you scan this QR code, if you are in the forward or SSA subscription, you'll be able to download this Archicad Task Manager tool, which is the 4D simulation tool. Okay, so you can see these files here inside this download page. Okay, so we have Archicad Task Manager Python script, and then we also have a help guide. So if you go through the help guide, you will be able to. Okay, so let me just open this. So here are some of the steps using which you can perform the 4D simulation. So say for example, you can see you need to run the 4D simulation from the Windows Explorer. Say for example, I need to just use this and then double click to run the script. So when I double click, you can see the screen open, and then when I go back to Archicad, you can see the simulation running. Okay. So please do not use the Python palette and then run it from Archicad. So this should be run from the Windows Explorer itself. Okay, so while the script is running, let's just go back to the guide here. So you can see here. So once the first step is to create the property. So we have created the property on this sample model, and inside that, further down, we have to create the schedule as well. So in the schedule, we have the properties listed, and then you can give the task sequence and then the status for the element. So if it is planned, which means that it is not constructed yet. So once that is done, you can also create the graphic override combination. So you need to have graphic override combination for three. One is planned, in progress, and completed. Okay, so for planned it's blue color, and then for in progress it is yellow color, and then for completed it's just the original color. Okay, so going back to Archicad here, you can see so this blue color is the one that is planned. So these are the original ones. These are the ones that are completed. So original ones, and you can see here the ones that is being constructed are yellow in color. So there is a small gap which will simulate or which will show the time of construction there. Okay. So you can see the graphic override option here, and then I can show the task manager um, schedule that we have created. So for each task, for each of the element type, you can give a task ID or task sequence ID using which it is simulating. Okay, so let me go back here to the folder. So here we have the sequence PLN file. You can just download and then try out this particular Python API script for your 4D simulation. Okay, so let me just close all my Archicad model so that I can show the script for 5D as well. Okay, so but before that, you can also see there is one script for resetting. So when you click this reset script, it will just deconstruct all the elements. So basically it will all make all the components blue in color here. So it's like going back or construction phase. Okay, so you can use that for deconstruction as well. Okay. Okay, so let's have this model. So I'm going to use this particular simple model for 5D cost estimation as well. So let me first show the cost schedule and then I will show the simulation. So if you see the schedule here, let me just hide the navigator here and then hide this as well so that we can see the entire schedule. Okay, so I have automated some of the things here using the property manager's expression. So if you go to file, you info and then project info, I have created some properties here which are the unit cost of different element types here. So for wall I have the unit cost, for slab, so these are some of the guesstimate value, so I've just entered here. So and then I've used this to calculate my cost for each of the components inside the project. So the only reason I created this properties inside project info instead of creating inside project the property manager is, so whatever changes I do, I can just enter once so that it will be reflected in all the elements. Okay. So, but if you created any value or any property inside the property manager, right? So it will be assigned to each and every element. So you need to change the value in each and every element. So for these properties, especially the unit cost, it is just universal, right? So I just created these properties here and then I'm using it inside the expressions and then I'm creating the schedule here. So let me show you how to do that. So for door type, you can see here I have the description, which is again a property created which shows the door name and then the size of the door. And I'm not going to be concerned about these properties for door. The only thing I'm concerned is the quantity and then the unit cost. Unit cost is again coming from the project info here. So it's coming from here and then the unit type. So for door, we are going to calculate it based on the numbers. Okay. So based on the unit and then the number, we have the cost here. But if in case I can have different door types, right? So here you can see I currently have door 1, door 2, I mean type 1, type 2 and type 3. So I can choose type 2 and then the unit cost will change accordingly along with the total cost as well. Okay, so we can automate all this based on the expressions inside property manager so that we have a sophisticated cost schedule here. Okay, so similarly for slabs are based on the area here. You can see here, so area is coming from the schedule here and then I'm just multiplying these and then giving the total cost here using the expression. But if in case if I change the unit type to volume, it will use this volume and then it will calculate the total cost. So you can see here, as soon as I change to volume, the value changes here. So you can choose whichever unit type that you want to apply for each of the element type here. So for stair, I'm using the volume, and for wall, again, I'm using length. Okay, so depending on the wall length, I'm choosing here. So you can see here the grade of the wall and then the composite structure, the thickness, everything is showed here. Okay, and then depending on that, the cost is calculated. And again for windows, it's based on number similar to door. So I can change the type here if I want, and then based on that, the cost is changing as well. Okay, so similarly, it is done for all the stories. So now I'm going to do a simulation of this information using the Python API. So let me just open my Python script. So you can see here, I'm going to 3D first. So currently it is all blue in color, similar to the previous model that I was just showing. So it is all in the planned stage. Okay, so going back to the 5D simulation. So I need to run this simulation here. So just double click here. it will create an interface. Okay, so you can see here an interface is open. So here I can choose the start date and then the end date. So I'm choosing the start date here as 1st of August, and then I'm going to choose the end date as 29th of August. And then let me click start here. Okay, so you can see here the time line is changing or extending here, and then the cost also getting changed based on the time that we have given, and then you can see the date changing as well. So this is a very simple simulation. So let me just exit this first. So here you have an option to exit. So now since I double click um, the Python script, it is open again. So now let me choose maybe like 6 weeks time from the 1st of August. So until September 12th, and I can click start here. So you can see here it has 6 weeks now, and then on the 6th week there is no construction, so it shows the cost as zero itself. Okay, and it shows the total cost for all the weeks. So this way you can automate or you can just try to create a very simple simulation just using Python itself without using any other third-party software. So if you need any help on implementing this workflow on your firms, you can just contact us. We will try to train you guys to do this, and then we will help you doing this as well. Okay, so let me go back to the presentation. All right, let me just exit the simulation first. Yeah. So yeah, that's all for today. So we will see the win simulation next week. So please, follow us on the social media for more information about the future webinars and events. And we also have the YouTube channel where we will post all our videos. So the recordings of this webinar as well will be posted on this YouTube channel. You can scan the QR code and subscribe it so that you will get instant notification.